Welcome back, friends, in the discovery of the century. I have ripped, on accident, the side of this bag open, and when I did so, because I was like, oh no, I probably should rip the lining out of this one before we try to do the other bag, because that was horrible, if you've been watching this, I realized that, look, this was done by an overlock machine at some point, so this lining will come out. It will come out. And then we have an overlocked seam, or, well, it's an edge, I suppose. It's not really a seam anymore, as it's no longer holding on to the parachute crap fabric. But we can now use this as the lining for the other bag, and so that it won't catch and be horrible, we won't sew on this part. I might sew on the insides of the upper handles so that they look nice. But what we're going to do first, and what I will speed up for us, oh look, it's just ripping. Goodbye, parachute crap. Bye-bye. We're going to obviously have to like do some extricating at the corners here, but look at it. Selvage edge. It's not a selvage edge. That's not an accurate vocabulary word to describe this. This has just been overlocked. So, but it will make our lives easier, and so I'm happy about that. And now we're going to rip out the demon lining. Hooray! Okay, as you can see, I have cut some cotton batting for the top part. Why have I done that, you ask? Well, because there isn't any fabric that this is going to be with. Like, there's no lining now. It's hacked. Oh, what the hell is that? It's hacked out. Oh, I just threw that at a cat. Sorry. Anyway, there's nothing for there. It will make it really difficult to sew. So if I put this lining in here, not only will it make the shoulder more like fluffy and nice to wear, but also I can tuck it under with any luck. I can tuck over that sergered edge or overlock machine. Apparently they're the same thing. I asked my friend Louisa, who sews and is not afraid of sewing machines. Anyway, I'm going to pin that to make it easier to stitch upon, and I'm obviously going to have to spread these out quite a bit to make it fit, because the measurement is good, but the fabric is stretchy, and I have clips. So I will see you when this is all clipped up. I'll probably clip what, like one side at a time? I don't know what I'm doing, so we'll do what feels right in the moment. Okay, so here is the lining all done. I really, really love this Sashiko pattern in general. It was extremely fast and it was very efficient. And I really like how it turned out with both of the variegated threads that I used. So this is done until we install it, but we will actually have to turn it inside out to install it, which is a little weird because we have to turn them wrong side to wrong side, so that the wrong sides are hidden, as it were. Anyway, so it will look kind of crazy and inside out, but once we put it into the bag, then this part will be the only part that is showing, theoretically. All right, well, the next time you see this, we will be attempting to install it in the bag. The time has finally come, my friends, for us to join the two halves of this forsaken, horrible bag. Oh, this stuff is just shedding. It's the worst. Oh, I hate it. This parachute trash. What a nightmare. Ugh, it just sticks to everything. Ugh, I hate it. Okay, so what we're going to do is put these together. What the hell is that? Ignore the DMC floss that came from my desk somewhere. We need to put them together wrong side to wrong side. So theoretically, I'm going to put this onto him like paints. And I'll try to record that. I'm sure that won't be awkward at all. Or at all the weird or bizarre. We'll try. All right, let's birth this on to itself so that we can affix it. And then we will be done with this exercise, we'll call it. We definitely learned things. Primarily that we shouldn't have done this, but that's also learning. So, all right, let's do it. All right. I got it in there, and it's sort of lined up at this point. It's a little bit not lined up because I realize now that I have put the lining on at its most stretched. So it's going to be harder to get it to line up easily because I will be shoving it down unless I can like pull this down a little bit to make it line up better. It may have been easier. Nah, that'll be fine. It might have been easier to do it with this already right side out. Oh well, we're doing it this way. It's too late. It's not too late. I could fix this, but it doesn't look like I'm going to. Alright, so I have my little clippy friends here from testing weird Shein sewing products, and I think they will serve us well here because they hold things pretty tightly. And then we can do kind of micro adjustments as we sew along the edges. And then what I'm thinking is, I'm just going to kind of clip these as we talk here. If I wanted to, I'm not going to, I don't think I want to invest any more in this, and it would make it harder to wash. But you could also glue on like a really strong neodymium magnet or something on either side of this inner side. And then you could certainly have a magnetically closing bag. The bag, I was thinking about adding some kind of flap to cover it, and that just seemed like an exercise in futility, considering how much I would like to be done with this. So we will just try to get these, and remember they're not going to be the same size necessarily because we've already put a blanket stitch along all this edge, so it can stretch the fabric, it can make the fabric warp in different ways, so don't be too hard on yourself if you can't get it to line up just perfectly. And then I think I'm going to try and hide, not quite a blind stitch, but I'll try to mask the stitches or use a blue that will blend in rather than stand out on the joining. And of course, I'm just trying to kind of get these to line up at points rather than like exactly, because I want it exactly right where I'm stitching. I just want it to not move away from the center as long as I'm not in that area. I just don't want it to pull. That's the main thing we're trying to avoid here, is pulling. Because as you'll see when we reverse birth this inside out again to see what the outside shall look like, you will see that one side got very kinked because I had the brilliant idea of adding a circular pattern, which would have been fine had I remembered that that circular pattern that I had chosen must be worked from the center out. And because my hands were all sweaty and tired, I didn't really have the option of working from the center out, or I would have never gotten it done. So it got very crazy, and one side is kind of crunkly, but I don't think it's super visible from a distance. All right, so this is what we have going on. I'm going to flip it and do the other. And remember, we're looking at the inside. This is actually the lining. We're putting the wrong side to wrong side. We'll pull this down a little again so we can get it to match up. And we're stitching wrong side to wrong side so that we can turn it inside out, or right side in. Inside right? Inside right. We'll turn it inside right, and then we will be done. But I hope that so far you have enjoyed this, and if anything of interest happens, I will update you, but I think I will just be trying to either do a blanket stitch along these edges in like a blue that will just disappear with the stitches, but they need to be fairly close together, or else we're going to see this white peeking out from inside. And I don't want that. So it might be a blanket stitch in blue, and that's just the way it will have to be, because I don't have a ton of other options. All right, well, I think I've got enough tacked down here to start sewing. I think I do. Let's see. Yeah, all right. So here is our bag. This will be the inside of the handle. This will eventually be the outside of the handle that we've already stitched. And again, I'm just going to send probably a blanket stitch in a blue that will disappear and mask. Maybe this side I will go through with the rainbow because I have some open, and then it will just make a very chaotic rainbow on the rainbow side. So I think we'll be okay. We'll either just use white and rainbow. Yeah, I think we'll be good. All right. I will update you when I have gotten a little further ahead on this, but thank you so much for sticking around. And if you've stuck around this long through the Wabi-sabi Bag Rescue Project, I hope I have earned your subscription or like, or comment even. That would be great. I would love to engage with you. All right, let me get sewing on this, and we'll see how we do. All right, I am thrilled to say that we have done it, and all I did was take the same color that had already been used. I face stitched toward myself and did a blanket stitch through the holes that were already there. So even if the color changed, at least I wasn't necessarily poking into a whole new set of holes. So while the rainbow looks more chaotic, They're all going in and out of the same holes, at least. Obviously, I was going in different directions when I did this one. We're not going to talk about that. But I made it look pretty tidy on the back, because this is the first time the back has been pierced by a blanket stitch. And now I have to reverse birth this very stiff box. And I will do that sped up, because I sincerely doubt that this will go swiftly or well. And I'm sorry for the weird yellow cast. I'm going to have to get rid of this brown paper. But anyway, we will see how this looks. And then we just have one little area up here now that it's joined. I didn't want to join it in this area before I joined the top edge, because I was afraid I would kink it. So now that it's attached, I'll probably just put in a few stitches on here. And then we'll be able to take our final look at it. But we are nearing the flip-flapping home stretch on this guy. And, oh, and I crossed over into the same holes as I went through, and that hit it very well on both sides. It masked it. I don't notice it. So I think it's fine. All right, let's reverse birth this thing in right side and inside out. Whatever the correct terminology for that is. I don't sew. This is my first sewing project, and naturally I decided to do it by hand. Well, all right. She is what we're going to call done. It's still very loose inside. I probably should add a stitch or two to keep the lining in place, because it very happily just turns, you can dig around in there and just get lost. But I think for the sake of saking, it's done. And I will make a review video, I think, in the morning in natural lighting. And we can talk about what we've learned from this experience, which is a lot, including some projects are not necessarily worth doing. But I sincerely appreciate if you have stuck around with me this far. Perhaps you actually enjoy this, and maybe you could throw me a like, a follow, or a comment, and I would appreciate that very much. And I hope to see you in the final review of our Wabi-sabi bag rescue, which, while successful, was weird. And it's still only a very semi-functional bag. But we've learned, and I will discuss that in the final video. Thanks for sticking around, and I will see you in the morning. Bye!